Going to do a football preview starting this week, but we're going to break them up into conferences. AFC this week, NFC next week. So first with the AFC, there's a couple of things I want to go over. Playoff predictions. We're going to go over Patrick Mahomes versus Joe Burrow. Will we see that twice this year, or will we see it only once? We're going to talk about the AFC, the lowly AFC West, the lowly AFC East. My bad. And then we're going to give some over under win total. So Evan, I'm going to throw it over to you. How do you think the AFC is going to shake up?
Like 1 through 7.
Yeah, in the playoffs.
Okay, 1 through 7. I think we have the perennial number one seed is the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't think anyone's going to knock them off in the regular season. And that's what's key, of course, because they have been knocked off in the playoffs. But they're kind of in that Tom Brady, Bill Belichick early 2000s mode where it seems like they're kind of invincible. They just find ways to win games. During the regular season, even in the early rounds of the playoffs. Give me the Chiefs as the number one seed. Little bit of an upset. Give me Baltimore as the number 2 seed. I know a lot of people think the Bengals are a popular Super Bowl pick. I still think the Bengals are going to be very good, but Lamar Jackson has not played a full season in 2 seasons. The last time he did, they made it to the divisional round in 2020. They were the number one seed in 2019. Ravens made some nice defensive acquisitions. I think the Ravens will get the 2 seed. And then Jake is going to like this one. I have the Miami Dolphins as the number 3 seed. I think as long as Tua stays healthy, and that's the key, Buffalo's been a little shaky recently, especially Josh Allen. As long as Tua stays healthy, you throw that ball to Tyreek Hill. Tyreek wins Offensive Player of the Year. And you got a very strong Miami team with good coaching and a decent enough defense. Give me them as the 3 seed. I got bias, but this is really a toss-up. I challenge you, either of you, to tell me this is not a toss-up. The Titans and Jaguars in the AFC South is a toss-up. Trevor Lawrence is worldly talented, but outside of that, if you're talking the roster, give me the Titans. And I'm going to have the Titans to come back and win that division. They will be the 4 seed. Now, as the wild cards, you look around, you got to acknowledge the Bengals are still really good. They're going to be the 5th wild card team. Joe Burrow, he kind of reminds me of an Andrew Luck as how he manages the game. Maybe even a little better of an arm than Andrew Luck, but he's just a great quarterback. The Bills are still too talented. I'm not huge on the Bills, but they're wildly talented. They will be the 6th seed. And then, yes, I do got the Rodgers train and the Jets sneaking in the playoffs as the last 7th seed. 3 teams from the AFC East. I don't think the Jets are going to be great. I think Rodgers he's past his prime. We understand that. He's got a tiny bit of magic left. Give me the Jets as the 7th seed.
Yeah. I'll go next. You were talking about the Cincinnati Bengals. I actually got him in my number 1 seed. I think Joe Burrow is going to come back. He's going to have an MVP season. I think he'll lead the Cincinnati Bengals to yet again another AFC championship appearance. So give me the Bengals at number 1. Number 2, I got the Kansas City Chiefs. You put the Kansas City Chiefs as number 1, but I think Patrick Mahomes takes a little bit of a step back because if you remember a few weeks back, I called him a little bit overrated.
And you got some
So,
heat for that.
yeah, I got some heat for that, but I got to stand by my word. They drop a spot in the rankings. Number 3, I agree with you. I got the Miami Dolphins. Being completely unbiased here, I think if Tua stays on the field the whole season, gets the ball to Tyreek Hill, gets the ball to Jalen Waddle, gets the ball to Braxton Berrios, who they just acquired from the New York Jets. I think if he gets the ball, I think that if he gets the ball to them, I think the Miami Dolphins will be a good candidate to be the 3 seed. And the 4 seed, you were talking about the AFC South. You were talking about the Titans and Jaguars. I think the Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence will pull that division out of their pocket after. I think the Titans. So I think the Jaguars are the number 4 seed. Number 5 seed, give me the Los Angeles Chargers. Justin Herbert, he gets it going. I think he delivers the ball to Mike Williams, and he delivers the ball to Keenan Allen. And the new acquisition through the draft, Quentin Johnston, I think he gets the ball to him as well. So give me the Chargers at number 5. Give me the Jaguars. Give me the Titans at number 6. I'm sorry. Um,
Hey,
Titans getting second place in that division. Ryan Tannehill gets the ball out. Derrick Henry's still a beast. Give me the Titans at 6. And then give me this is a big surprise here. I don't have the Ravens in the playoffs. This is a big surprise. Give me the Las Vegas Raiders to sneak into the playoffs at the 7 seed.
Can't sleep on Jimmy G.
First round, we have the number 2 seed Kansas City Chiefs and the 7 seed Las Vegas Raiders. I think that this is a no-brainer. I think the Raiders are going to go down in the first round of the playoffs. I think they'll master your season NCL. Give me the Kansas City Chiefs to move on. Next up, we got the number 3 seed Dolphins against the 6 seed Jaguars. Jaguars are kind of a bit surprised heading into the playoffs anyway. Um, and like I mentioned with the Dolphins, if Tua can get the ball out, they're going to be an unstoppable force. Give me the Dolphins to move on. Um, Finally, we got the number 4 seed Bills against the Chargers. Well, not number 4 seed, but Bills against the Chargers. Give me the Los Angeles Chargers to move on. I think yet again, Josh Allen, he chokes in the playoffs, and I think that the Chargers move on to the second round. So anyway, in the second round, we got Bengals and Chiefs, a rematch of the AFC Championship game last year. Give me the Bengals to pull it off. Give me Joe Burrow. Give me Jamar Chase. Bengals advance to the AFC Championship game yet again to face the winner of the Dolphins and Chargers. Now, Justin Herbert, Tua Tagovailoa. This is a matchup we all want to see. We're gonna see it in the regular season. We might see it a second time in the playoffs. Give me Tua Tagovailoa to come out on top. That brings us to the AFC Championship game: the Cincinnati Bengals and Miami Dolphins. Now, the question here is to be asked: can the Miami Dolphins hang with the Cincinnati Bengals? I know last year the game, Tua got hurt second quarter. Teddy Bridgewater came in. He made a couple nice passes, but ultimately the Cincinnati Bengals won that game. And we can sit here and debate if Tua had played the whole game, would the Miami Dolphins have won, or would they still come up short? I'm on the side where I think the Miami Dolphins would have won if Tua played the whole game. Some people may disagree with me. Completely being unbiased here, give me the Miami Dolphins to move on to the Super Bowl. Evan,
Very,
how do you
very
think?
interesting. Yeah, very interesting. And that would be the game that, Tua did originally get that very bad concussion with. So that would be an interesting AFC championship. That's not what I have, but it's close to it. So I will go. I had the 2 seed Ravens and the Jets were my 7 seed. Give me Baltimore at home. I still think Rodgers is washed, although he might have a little bit of magic. But overall, I don't think the Jets are as talented as the Ravens. Give me the Ravens to move on. Then you got I actually have the 6 seed Buffalo beating the 3 seed Miami in my thing. I think Miami's got a decent future if Tua can stay healthy. They clearly want to buy, but Buffalo's the more experienced playoff team. I think it was a close playoff game last year, but let's be real, we knew Buffalo was going to win that game. Give me Buffalo, the 6 seed at Miami, but that's a pretty toss game. And then my last game in the first round, I've got the 5 seed Bengals, unfortunately, will beat my 4 seed Titans. I don't think we're as talented as we were 2 years ago. But it could still be an entertaining game, and I will for sure be rooting for us to win that game if it does happen again. But for now, give me the 5 seed Bengals. And then in the divisional round, I had give me the Chiefs over Buffalo. I think that, they've played a lot in the playoffs now, 2020, 2021. Buffalo's come up just short. They'll be looking for it again. I said it earlier, though, you can't count out Mahomes. Give me the Chiefs to go to the AFC Championship once again. And then I'm going to take the Ravens on their home field against the Bengals, although this would be a pretty good game to move on to the AFC Championship as well. And then as my upset, just because I think it can't be the same thing every year, give me the Ravens over the Chiefs in the AFC Championship. They will go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Now we got some over under win totals. The first one I want to bring up is the Dolphins over under 9.5 wins. Me being a Dolphins fan, completely unbiased here, I think 9.5 wins might be an easy might be an easy to amount to. Especially with Tua Tagovailoa, Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, Braxton Berrios. I think it's going to be an easy amount. Give me Miami over 9.5 wins.
Yeah, so 9.5 would be, because 9.5, obviously 9-8 would be if you won 17 games. So just to get over, just to get to 10 wins, I'm going to take over as well. Obviously, I have them winning the division. What's really going to determine that is those AFC East games, though. You know, you can't completely forget about the Patriots. They're definitely not the best team in that division, but they're not a pushover either. Then the Jets and Bills should be some challenging games. How they do in the division will determine this, but I'm going to take over too.
Yeah. The second one I want to bring up is the Houston Texans over under 6.5 wins. You know, they drafted CJ Stroud this year. They drafted him early. They drafted Will Anderson early. I just don't like the talent around CJ Stroud. You know, CJ Stroud is a talented quarterback, and I think he will show out a lot. Um, but like I said, I don't like the talent around him. Give me the Texans under 6.5 wins.
I'm going to take the under two, but don't be surprised if they get the over on this. I'm not a fan of the Houston Texans, of course. I'm a Tennessee Titans fan. But what I will say is sometimes with a rookie quarterback in a not so great division, you can get some fireworks. And I think, I think CJ Stroud's talented enough to maybe produce some of those. I'm still going to say under based on what Jake said, but do not be surprised if they do a little better. But I will say under 6.5 for now.
Yeah. The next one I want to go over is the Jaguars over under 9.5 wins. I think, you know, like I said, I think Trevor Lawrence is really talented. I think Question Cook and Trevor Etienne will help out with that offense. Give me Jacksonville over 9.5 wins.
Give me Jacksonville. This is a tight one. This is a really tight one. I'm not sure. I'm gonna say give me Jacksonville under 9.5, though. I think Trevor Lawrence is a very talented quarterback. This is his third year. He's gonna do well. I still don't love their offense. ETN was a very good college quarterback, not super impressed in the pros, to be honest. And then their defense is good, not worldly talented. I think Doug Peterson will right the ship. They won't be a terrible team, but I think they've got too much expectations. Just like when the Jaguars went to the AFC Championship in 2017, everyone thought that was going to carry over to 2018. They were bad. Now, again, I understand they're not the same thing, but culture does matter. And the Jaguars have a long culture of losing that they got to flip. They'll be decent this year, but I'm going to say under 9.5. They still got to change, improve that culture a little bit.
Yeah. The next one is Buffalo Bills over under 10.5 wins. Give me the over on this. I think the Buffalo Bills and Miami Dolphins will be in a tight AFC East race. Maybe the Jets will be up there as well, signing Dalvin Cook yesterday. Um, so I think the Bills are going to go over. So give me them over 10.5 wins. Evan.
I think the Bills over 10.5 is still a pretty good bet. I think Josh Allen struggled a little bit in the regular season more than he used to. I think the Bills, you saw the infighting with Stephon Diggs and all of them. But they're still a very talented team, especially defensively, especially with coaching with McDermott. I'm gonna take over 10.5 as well.
Yeah. There's one more over under that I want to go over is the Indianapolis Colts over under 6.5 wins. Now, like I said with the Texans, I don't like their offense. They did draft Anthony Richardson high, so 6.5 wins. Um, they need some fireworks to get over that mark. I think Anthony Richardson is the quarterback who can provide those sparks. I'm gonna take the Colts over 6.5 wins.
That's a tough one. I'm gonna take them a very slight over. I think the Colts, you talk about culture, the Colts have a pretty good culture of winning. They've had some bad seasons. Let's not kid ourselves. That's why they drafted Anthony Richardson at 4 last year. But the Colts, they will bounce back. They've got a talented roster. They didn't completely rebuild. They just had to, they kept going from Philip Rivers to all these guys to Nick Foles. And it was time they drafted a rookie quarterback. I think Anthony Richardson is actually the second most talented quarterback in this draft. I think people are going to be very surprised by him. Of course, next to Bryce Young, in my opinion. But yeah, give me the Colts. They're not going to make the playoffs or anything. Give me a slight over at 6.5, maybe 7 wins.